Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Bob is with us. Bob's in Kansas City. How are you, Bob?
Great. Thanks for taking my call, Dave.
Sure, man. What's up?
I'm recently retired, and I'm receiving a pension. As I left the company, I got kind of an exit package, and to keep us in a tax shelter, they had us put it into a 403B. Mm-hmm. And I want to pay my house off, and about, 3/4 of that exit package would pay my house off.
How old are you?
I'm 57.
Okay. Is the 403B available because of this exit and early retirement without penalty?
You know, I read the information, and it stated that if I was over 57, I could withdraw the money.
Yeah, which makes it taxable but not subject to penalty. That's what I thought. That sounds right.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Uh-huh.
So what is your household income?
Well, and that's where I'm kind of in the middle because when I left in the middle of the year, right now my income, it was... let's say it's been $80,000 a year, but I'm going to $56,000.
What will it be this calendar year?
Calendar year, it looks like it's going to be about $70,000.
Okay. All right. The difference is not going to be much, but you would look at your tax rate for $70,000 and $56,000. I don't have the tax tables memorized.
Okay,
but I know 75 is 25%, but I'm not sure where the break is at 56. It might drop down a little bit. Say it dropped down to 20 as an example. It'd save you 5% to do it after the first of the year rather than before the first of the year, because whatever you pull out is going to be taxable.
Okay, and
how much do you? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And that's where I was going to meet with a tax guy to look at it, because that was my original plan.
Yeah.
The problem I run into is I have these people saying, no, leave it there. You know, that's part of your retirement, your emergency fund, things like that.
No, I mean, you need an emergency fund separate from this discussion of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Your emergency fund is not in your 403B.
Okay.
How much do you owe on your home?
About $28,000.
Okay. And how much do you have in your total nest egg? Everywhere, all combined.
Everywhere, about $40,000.
Including this 28?
No, I'm sorry. I owe 28 on the home.
Oh, so you have 40 in the 403B, and that's all of the savings you have to your whole name?
No, actually, I have 30 in the 403B, and then I have 10,000 in a savings account.
And you don't have any money saved for retirement at all?
I receive a pension.
Okay.
And it's a state pension.
Yeah. You don't have any money saved for retirement other than that?
No, other than that pension.
And are you married?
No.
Okay. All right. So what we're saying is, in order to get 30 out, you need almost 40.
After I pay taxes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you don't have the money to do this.
Okay, that's what people are kind of saying, because I'd take a beating on the taxes.
It's not because you're taking a beating on the taxes. It's because you don't have the money to do it, and you'll end up broke.
Okay.
I mean, you have to spend your $10,000 that's in savings to free up the 28 out of the 403B, just about. I mean, it's not quite, but you're going to spend like 7 of it, and so it's going to leave you with pennies here. And I don't want to leave you with pennies. If you call me up and ask me the same question, you had $200,000 or $300,000 in your 403Bs or 401Ks or whatever, then yeah, I would do it out of that.
Yes.
But the fact that this is going to leave you down to your last $2,000 or $3,000, no, I wouldn't.
Okay.
What is your pension? How much is it?
It's about $4,700 a month.
That's good news. I would attack your mortgage out of that.
Okay.
And so you're going to be working part-time and taking the pension. That's your $56,000?
Well, my goal was to not do any work, although I'm very handy at picking up part-time work. and that was my goal was not to, because I thought, well, why am I quitting work when I'm going to go back to work? I might as well just stayed there working.
Yeah.
But
well, you've already quit, so that's out the window.
Yeah. But
let me go ahead and encourage you that at 57, you got a lot of gas left in your tank. Not saying you have to work every day to grind, but I'd find something to do, and really just if you change your income a couple $1,000 a month, doing something that makes you smile.
Oh, yeah.
You know, not like something I hate to do, but just doing something that makes you smile. Maybe it's time to start a little business or something that you just always wanted to do, that kind of a thing. Do that kind of a thing, and then that changes your equation pretty quickly. Because A, I'd like for you to knock that 28 out. B, I'd like for you to have more than 40 grand to your name.
Yeah. Okay.
It leaves you a pretty precarious situation. If something comes at you, a bit of a life-based hurricane type of a thing, you ain't got much here to batten down the hatches with, and I'd like for you to have more ability to survive life's curves. You're only 57, and this pension is not enough to suit me. It's a nice pension. I'm not running it down. It's a nice income, but I'd like for you to do some other things and see some other zeros show up in your life as you go along. No, to answer your question, I would not clean out the 403B in this situation. Christy is in Minnesota. Hi, Christy. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Dave, for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I have a situation on a rental property. My husband and I own a rental. Our tenants were breaking up and wanted to terminate the lease early, and so we allowed them to do that.
Okay.
The last month of the occupancy, one of the tenants changed locks, the other one kicked in the door. So when we went through for the walkthrough, we verbally told them that their security deposit would go to pay for the repairs in the door. But we neglected to meet the deadline to provide the written documentation for the cost of the repairs.
And the lease requires that?
State law requires that.
Okay.
So because of this technicality, they've sent a demand letter for the return of the security deposit. And so we're faced with trying to determine if we should
Did you in writing release them from the lease?
In email,
That's in writing?
Yeah.
And so they can prove you let them out of the lease?
Yes.
But you did not meet the obligations of state law. So even though you were nice to these people, they turn around and were twerps?
Yes.
Yeah. No good deed goes unpunished. So you're getting ready to write a check.
Okay.
Yeah, and you learned your lesson, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Not just about, when you're nice, you have to document it, because when people are breaking up, they're crazy.
Yeah.
and those people are crazy, and they're ungrateful twerps. And, it's so maddening. Yeah. You not doing things properly and in writing just cost you a security deposit. Ouch. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM are pleased to announce the brand new edition of The Stephanie Miller Show. Right here weekdays, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's The Stephanie Miller Show.
Join Stephanie every weekday for her fun humor and snappy wit. The perfect antidote to cantankerous, grumpy old conservatives. Stephanie Miller makes weekdays fun at 4 p.m. right here on Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
I literally started my business on a card table in my living room. In those days, I was the one responsible for keeping track of my expenses. And if I wanted my family to eat, I had to make sure the money was coming in. I was a true entrepreneur. Nowadays, I know there's a better way. It's called FreshBooks. And I'm a big fan of what they do. FreshBooks is an online software and mobile app that allows you to track your time, capture expenses, and create professional invoices. It's easy and it works. Find out what over 5 million entrepreneurs and small business owners just like you have already discovered. You can try it free today at getfreshbooks.com. Just enter the Dave Ramsey Show under How Did You Hear About Us for your free 30-day trial. That's getfreshbooks.com. And remember, enter the Dave Ramsey Show to get started today.
Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM is San Bernardino Strong. It's time for the KCAA Community Calendar, brought to you exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools. The clear mission of Learn for Life is to motivate and mentor students who have dropped out of school and provide them with the personalized education and technical training necessary to advance their lives.
Here's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar. I'm Di Rice. Experience the West's railway heritage with the largest collection of locomotives, passenger cars, freight cars, and cabooses at the Orange Empire Railway Museum in Paris. Take a ride on the museum's demonstration railway and feel the clickety-clack of street wheels. Hear the train whistles and streetcar bells. Get a grand tour, visit the gift shop, and learn about the West's railway heritage dating back to the 1870s. Trolleys and trains operate every Saturday and Sunday from 11 until 5 p.m., including major holidays. Steam trains run every third Saturday and Sunday of the month, and special events are held throughout the year, including a major annual fall event and a spring rail festival. Make plans to check out the Orange Empire Railway Museum located at South A Street in Paris. Call 951-943-3020 for more information. That's 951-943-3020, or go to oerm.org for the Orange Empire Railway Museum. And that's a look at the community calendar on KCAA 1050 AM.
The KCAA Community Calendar is presented exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools where students can complete their education on a part-time basis. To find a resource center nearest you, call 1-877-360-LEARN or visit Learn for Life online at learn4life.org.
Inland Body and Pain Center wants you to know that human trafficking is real. Hundreds of people, male and female, some as young as 10, are trapped, enslaved by people who have taken advantage of them. Some are immigrants, some are runaways, all are victims. This tragedy has been in the shadows far too long. If you suspect modern-day slavery is happening here in the Inland Empire, do not turn away. Contact the District Attorney's Office now. This important message is brought to you by Inland Body and Paint in Fontana.
KCAA Loma Linda, your CNBC news station, where your business comes
first.
This is the
Dave Ramsey Show. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jason is in Illinois. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hi, Dave.
What's up?
Thank you. Well, David, I got a house that I bought years ago, and I sold it on contract for deed. And I'm in a bad situation now with heart problem, and we're underemployed. So I need to sell, or I'm thinking about selling this house, or the interest in the house, to pay off my debts. And I can't seem to find very much information about selling interest in a contract for deed.
Not a lot of buyers. It's more like selling a note.
Okay, right.
Where you've done owner financing, only it's more complicated. Okay. And so the contract for deed, how much is owed to you?
Their balance is $59,000.
Okay. What's the property worth today?
About $72,000.
The balance owed to you is $59,000.
Yes.
And do you owe money against the property?
No.
So it's free and clear?
Yes.
You're going to, let's pretend it wasn't a contract for deed, but it was just an owner-carried mortgage. Okay? In order for you to sell that, you're going to discount it deeply to a note buyer. And that's what you would have to do. This is even more difficult than that because they're going to be looking for probably a 20% yield. What's the interest rate on the note?
7.5.
Yeah. Okay. Have the people been paying on time?
Every month.
Okay. What I would do to them is go to them and say, if you will pay this off early, like now, in the next 90 days, go get a mortgage, I will discount it $10,000.
I haven't done that, but I have asked them to do that. They have applied and have not been able to get a mortgage of their own to pay it off.
Yeah. If you give them a $10,000 incentive, it might change the game. Because if you sell this, you're going to take a discount deeper than that.
Okay.
And so I'd rather give it to those people than to a note buyer. Because what you're looking for is a real estate investor that buys notes. A lot of them are second mortgage notes or owner-held notes. And they're going to yield the thing out, usually around 20% yield. Versus 7%, and that's going to knock 10, 15, 20 grand off this thing in order for you to liquidate it. And it's going to be hard to do, and the mechanics of it are difficult because it's a contract for deed, not actually a note that you're transferring. So it can be done. I don't know if when you wrote up the contract, does it have an assignment clause?
You'd have to remind me what that means.
Well, does it give you the right to assign the contract?
I don't know.
Yeah. You need to pull out your contract for deed, see if it has an assignment clause. If it doesn't, you'll be at the mercy of Illinois law as to whether or not you're allowed to assign this contract. You're in a very precarious situation, very, very hard to do, and I'm afraid you're going to take a butt whipping mathematically. In order to get this thing liquidated and turn it into money. And the problem is, you know what else I would do? The house is worth what?
$72.
Okay. And the folks that are in it, and you got them at 59, 60 over 72, so... What I would do too, if they can't refinance it, go back to them first with a $10,000 offer. If they can't do that, tell them you'll give them $5,000 or $7,000 or something like that from the sale of the property if they will agree to break the deal and let you sell it and help you sell it and let them make some money and move. They don't want to move, but for $7,000, they might get excited about moving. You follow me? You're asking them to let you buy them out at the sale, and you put it up for sale. Because you're technically the owner of the property. It's still deeded in your name.
Right.
You can't sell it without their permission. You'd be in violation of this contract. You get your butt sued. But you see what I'm saying? You could get their participation and almost partner up with them and say, listen, how'd you like to make a little money and move? Like a lot of money, like $7,000, $8,000, because you sell it for 72 minus commissions. You give them some money, put some money in your pocket. You're clear of this. They're clear of this. It's all cleaned up.
Okay.
You're going to come out better that way than you are selling to a note buyer.
Sure.
So thing one would be to give them a discount, let them buy. Thing two would be if they can't do that, say, hey, guys, how would you like to make some money? Have you ever heard the phrase, boy, have I got a deal for you? I'd like to give you $7,000 or $10,000 or whatever it is if you would move out of the sale of this house and you get the house spruced up and let you and I work together and get it sold, and I'll write you a contract that says upon the sale I'll give you $10,000 to settle this contract and be bought out of it, and I'll put the rest of the money in my pocket and go away. You'll end up with more money that way. Then your third option is to find a note buyer, and you'd contact some real estate investors that buy notes and try to find somebody that would just want to play in this, that would like to have it. It does have a nice high interest rate. At in a low interest rate environment, that 7% rate is very high and very nice. And so that's going to help you with the note, with the buyer out there, a note buyer. But still, they're still going to discount it. No one's going to yield it up at face. They're always going to want to discount the note to where the yield is usually up 20% or more. I've never bought a note for under 20% back when I used to buy notes. I don't buy them anymore, but because I don't like to be in that side of the business. I like to be in the ownership side of the business. But that gives you an idea. That's some interesting discussion. Thanks for the call. All right, Steve is with us in Detroit, Michigan. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dave. I'm great. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I could pick your brain all day long if I had the chance, but I'll just ask one quick question. I have been saving in my retirement. It's a government TSP account, And I've been putting, since about 06, at least 10% in, with the exception of about a year or two when I saved for a house down payment.
Good.
My question is, and I've got probably roughly $80,000 in it.
Good. What do you got? Which plan have you got it in?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Which of the plans have you got it in?
It's the L40.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Which I think is I don't know a lot about it. I pretty much put money in there and forgotten about it.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty well diversified, but I'm not sure. I don't know if it meets, kind of the four that you talk about. I'm a real new-time listener, by the way, and
That's
we just started off on your website with the budget.
No problem.
And working on the baby steps.
Gotcha.
Real good program. Really appreciate all that.
Okay.
The question is with car payments, a little bit of credit card debt and student loans, we've got about $37,000 to pay off. Would you recommend lowering my TSP down to the matching in order to pay that debt off quicker, or leave it as is, or what would you do with that?
Yes, we recommend stopping investing completely as a temporary measure to completely focus on getting out of debt.
Okay.
And when
So
because your most powerful wealth building tool is your income. And when it's going out the door in the form of debt payments, it kills your ability to build wealth. An example of that is the average car payment in America is $485 right now, $486 over 84 months. If you had that invested from age 30 to age 70 instead of in a car payment, it'd be $5.6 million. So that's an example of how debt costs you millions of dollars and what you could have earned by investing that same amount of money. So temporarily, yes, we stop that while we work what we call baby step 2, and we attack this thing with a vengeance. Then I would go ahead and move whatever balance you have in the TSP. What we recommend is 60% in the C, 20% in the S, and 20% in the I. The L plans that you're in are life phase plans, and as you change ages, they move you through different mixes that they've predetermined. You'll do better managing the money yourself rather than just throwing it in there and forgetting what it's in. And so, again, we do on the TSP, we suggest 60% in the C. Thanks for the call.
So it's being KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
Here's the latest. I'm Doug Parrish. In Cleveland, they just got word on the Tamir Rice case. A grand jury has decided it will not indict the police officers who were involved in the shooting death of Tamir Rice. Rice was 12 when he was shot and killed last year by a Cleveland police officer. The boy had a toy gun in his waistband when he was shot. Well, a total of 9 tornadoes have been confirmed by the National Weather Service as they look into the damage in North Texas. The weekend storms killed 11 people in Texas. This was Garland Police Lieutenant Pedro Garneo talking to Fox News.
The touchdown of this tornado definitely was devastating. Houses were demolished, cars were destroyed. It was horrific.
Garland was hit by the biggest twister of the bunch, an EF4 clocking 180-mile-an-hour winds. Parts of the South and Midwest are getting hammered today by severe weather. Most of Alabama, parts of the Florida Panhandle are under a tornado watch. You're listening to the latest from 24/7 News. One of the most popular players in the NFL is calling a report linking him to performance-enhancing drugs a joke. The report from Al Jazeera claims Denver Broncos quarterback Peyton Manning was given human growth hormone in 2011. Which is illegal in the NFL. The report quotes a pharmacist who has since recanted his story, saying his claims were false and incorrect. This is how Peyton Manning feels about it.
Disgusted is really how I feel, sickened by it, that I'm not sure I understand how someone can make something up about somebody, admit that he's made it up, and yet it somehow gets published in a story.
Well, Manning may sue over the story. Star Wars The Force Awakens is shattering box office records. The movie has now topped the $1 billion mark in worldwide ticket sales. It's the fastest movie to reach that milestone, doing it in just 12 days. I'm Doug Parrish.
Attention seniors on Medicare, business owners, and those about to retire. If you aren't listening to Safe Money Talk with Wrigley Weg, then you aren't getting the whole truth about your money and how to protect it from the erosive forces all around you. Turn into Safe Money Talk with Wrigley Weg every Tuesday starting at 6 p.m. on KCAA.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
Hi, it's Dave Collins in Snow Country. Well, we got some Christmas presents over the weekend in the form of some natural snowflakes and more still to come as we head into the new year. You'll be skiing and cruising on packed powder and stashes of fresh powder no matter which mountain you choose from, especially here in California. Mountain High with 9 trails right now. Also Bear Mountain, they picked up a couple of inches over the weekend. They've got 70% of their terrain open. That's about 20 trails. Over 150 runs available for you on packed powder and fresh powder at Mammoth, as they have 3,500 acres for you to explore. 100% of the terrain is open there. They picked up close to 6 feet of snowfall over the past 5 days. Crested Butte in Colorado with over 3 feet of snowfall in the past week. 90% of their terrain is open for you on packed powder and fresh powder. Ski Apache in New Mexico, same thing. 30 trails and almost 4 feet of snow over the past 5 days. Snow Summit with a couple of inches over the past few days. They've got 20 trails. June going with 33 trails. More at snowcountry.com. I'm Dave Collins on KCAA 1050 AM and the all-new 106.5 FM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
Are you particular about the vitamins and supplements you take? Have you found that the big chain stores simply don't have what you need? Then you should know about the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. You'll find rock-bottom prices on gourmet, top-quality vitamins and mineral supplements at the Vitamin Center. Get 30% off on all supplements and homeopathic products. All, not just selected merchandise. In addition, you'll find 30% off on all cosmetics, soaps, shampoos, toothpaste, makeup, hair coloring, and lip gloss. And all tea products are discounted 20%. Why go anywhere else? See for yourself at the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills, or check out the savings and place your order online. VitaminCenterAgoraHills.com. Start saving by getting what you need from the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. And tell a friend that the Vitamin Center ships nationwide. Call 818-707-0005. That's 818-707-0005. The Vitamin Center of Agora Hills.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Tom Ladd. For this afternoon, chance of showers. It'll be mostly sunny and a high near 54. Chance of showers before 10 p.m. tonight. Patchy frost after 10 p.m., otherwise partly cloudy. Low of 37. Patchy frost before 10 a.m. Tuesday, otherwise sunny. Expect a high near 58. It'll be clear Tuesday night with a low of 40 and sunny Wednesday. Expect a high near 63. That's your weather forecast for this hour from the KCAA 106.5 FM and 1050 AM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you're here. Open phones this hour. One of the coolest events we have ever done was a brand new event this last fall called Business Boutique, equipping women to make money doing what they love. The author of Business Boutique and the main speaker, the face of this movement that has begun, equipping women to make money doing what they love, is Christy Wright, one of our Ramsey personalities. And Christy has done an absolutely fabulous job with this brand and with this launch piece. We are now looking for venues to do a couple more of these events in the spring because it was so popular. It sold out so quickly. It was absolutely huge. It really took off. And a lot of the ladies that were there had ideas and hadn't yet started their businesses. Some of them had small businesses with 1 or 2 team members. There weren't many of them that had 50 team members. Most of them were cottage industry, so to speak. But some of them were running larger operations. And so they were there to learn about business. And we had a whole lineup of like 16 different speakers over 2 days. It was a very intense time, a very emotional time, and way too much estrogen in one room for me to hang out. So, Christy, welcome back to the microphone.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Good to have you. So, recap for a second your thoughts now that you're almost a month the other side of Business Boutique, and what has happened there and what you see happening in the future.
Well, I think I'm still kind of on this cloud 9 about it because, as you know, in our organization, we don't do things halfway. When we do events, we do them huge. They're going to be the best event. And the bar is pretty high. Like, our expectations is really high for things that we do with excellence. So going in, we had high expectations, but I can say it blew them out of the water, which is hard to believe when we set the bar that high. But coming off of the event, you know, we stood in that space and said, we're going to take this space and we're going to create a movement of equipping women to make money doing what they love and give women the tools they need to step into their God-given gifts and talents. And watching what's happened now on the other side of this event is exactly what's happening. This is a movement, and these women are taking charge of their life. They're making changes. The flood of emails and handwritten notes and response on social media of the changes they're making as a result of that event is incredible. And to think this is just the beginning, it's only going to get bigger. So it's really fun to think that we've hit on something huge here, and it's an honor to be a part of it for sure.
We created a private Facebook group of just the attendees.
Right.
So that they can support each other, and they've got access to you.
Right.
And you can jump in there and coach a little bit.
Right.
But mostly they're coaching each other up, encouraging each other along, sharing stories back and forth, and pretty interactive group.
Yes, they're very tribal, and it's interesting to see how when you put them all together in the room, and Dave, I know you experienced this because you came for a little bit at our event as a quick guest speaker, but this is something, there was an energy in that room that was palpable, and it was busting at the seams, and so you put them all together, there's the power in simply getting them together, and that's what we're trying to recreate on the Facebook group as well, is allowing them to have access to each other. They have similar struggles, and it gives them a platform in order to coach and encourage and love on each other, and that's powerful beyond the event. It continues the conversation.
So if someone likes what they're hearing as we're talking about this, and we're going to talk about ladies. By the way, ladies, if you want to ask a question of Christy, we're going to let you call in. If you need advice, or you're thinking of starting a business, you're running a business, and you want a business boutique type answer, Christy's here for you. You can jump in. And the phone number, Kelly, clean a couple of lines off. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. And so, we don't have those other events launched yet, the dates. How can they kind of reserve a spot or let you know that they want to be followed up? Have we got a way for them to do that yet?
If you go to businessboutique.com, that's where I have articles and resources, and there's actually a contact page for me there if you wanted to contact me. But really, we're hoping to have that launched in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be able to let them know which cities, which dates, and that kind of thing, so they can actually go ahead and get their ticket, because these will sell out quickly as well.
Oh, they'll go fast. It's there were so many people that emailed and said, gosh, I can't get to Nashville on that date. These two events will likely not be in Nashville.
Right.
We're looking at other cities, and we always try to hit West Coast, East Coast, or back at each side of the Mississippi or something. Right. Once something gets moving like this, and give folks access to it. So they just hit you at businessboutique.com or christywright.com.
Right. And once we launch the events, DaveRamsey.com, on the radio show and my website as well, they'll hear all about it. So just stay connected with us there on social media.
They can hit you on your Facebook page. Right. Official Christy Wright.
Right.
Is the Facebook page. Christy B. Wright. And that's WRIGHT. Christy B. Wright is Twitter and Instagram. So you can find her. Cool. So what advice do you have for listeners that, in light of what we're talking about, that want to increase some sales during the holidays?
Sure. Well, one of the things that I think is just an easy opportunity and some low-hanging fruit, especially for this market of women in small kind of craft businesses or cottage businesses, as you described it, is asking for referrals, because women are so community-driven. We're very relationship-driven. And so we naturally want to buy from someone that we know and trust. And that's true in any business, in any industry, but women are much more likely to do that. And so what you can do is with your current customer base, just simply incentivize or ask for referrals. People want to share on social media this word of mouth marketing when they've had a good experience. And so you can even incentivize that further by saying to your customer base, get 20% off your next order if you give a referral and they give us your name. Or just even so much of asking, post hashtag, whatever your business is in social media. And so urge them and push them a little bit to give you referrals, and then that builds your base even more, increases your sales, and it's from those people that know and trust those people you're already selling to. So it's a really simple way you can do it, and a lot of people miss that just by making the ask.
And that is very Facebook-esque or Twitter-esque, to just spread the word. Mm-hmm. That's simple. Just spread the word. And there's a huge, buy local movement, buy small business movement out there that you're tapping into the vibe that's already in the marketplace when you do that. And, especially telling people, we all like telling somebody about a movie. I mean, I saw the James Bond movie yesterday. It's a great, good movie. It's worth seeing, Mm-hmm. I saw, it looks like I'm going to see every movie during the holidays. Sharon has made that my mandate.
She's got you lined up.
So I'll be able to give you a full lineup on all of them. But, we spread word of mouth on movies and books and businesses that treat us well, that we like the results of interfacing with them. And you just need to ask people to help you do that.
Right.
Hey, I'm a small business. I'm trying to get this going. Who do you know? Who can you tell?
Right.
I don't want to geek you out. I don't want to put you pressure where I call your friends and bug them. I don't want to do that. But just, what can you help me? How can you help me? And people are love to do that. They like spreading the word if it doesn't feel contrived.
Right. Well, and even especially for service-based industries, this would be true for any type of business, product or service. But service-based business, if I'm going to have someone come into my home to clean my house, or if I'm going to have someone watch my children or walk my dogs or fill in the blank with whatever the service is, you want that to be people you trust. And the best place are people that you already know and trust. So you're giving them the tools in order for them to market the business for you.
Yeah, we had a lady that cleans our home, and it turns out now she cleans like 8 homes, and they're all Sharon Ramsey referrals.
Yep.
I mean, it was all straight up. The woman did not one dime of marketing except make Sharon happy. That was her only thing. Life is good. So very, very cool. So and when you're doing this research, what are the biggest obstacles people are facing when they're trying to sell their product, trying to sell their service?
Well, I think one of the things, and we talk about this in marketing, even in our organization, one of the great books that a lot of us read is Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. And what the mistake that a lot of small businesses make is they really just try to push their product. Push, push, push. It's making an ask of, come buy this, come here, we're running this sale. It's asking all the time, and they're not actually ever giving to their market. So whether that's on social media or their website, it's always asking for the customer to do something. And so,
we all know people that are takers.
Right.
And we all know people that are givers.
Right.
And marketing, it involves the same thing. And what Gary's tapped into there is you need to be more of a giver than a taker.
Right.
And then people don't mind when you ask for something if you've been generous.
Right. And they won't unfollow you or unfriend you or whatever it is, because they don't want to see someone that has filled up their page with just making asks and creating sales. It's a bunch of junk mail that you've come into their timeline, which is normally filled with puppies and friendships and birthday parties, and you've put all this sales crap in there. So you need to filter it with, putting some content, some good advice and resources, and then make the ask. And it earns that trust in order to do so.
Yeah, you give them, they're like, okay, that's pretty cool, because I read that article by her the other day. Yeah.
They trust you.
Very good stuff. Christy Wright from Business Boutique is with us, answering your questions, ladies. Ladies that have business questions, you can jump in right now. The phone number is 888-825-5225.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is our New Year's gift to you.
Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM are pleased to announce the brand new edition of The Stephanie Miller Show, right here weekdays Monday through Friday at 4 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's The Stephanie Miller Show.
Join Stephanie every weekday for her fun humor and snappy wit. The perfect antidote to cantankerous, grumpy old conservatives. Stephanie Miller makes weekdays fun at 4 p.m. right here on Kcaa 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
One of the most overlooked priorities in a family's financial plan is life insurance. Having it and having the right amount are crucial. If you died, how would your family pay the bills, put food on the table, and plan for the future? Term life insurance is protection for the ones you love. It's not complicated and it's not expensive. People need to deal with this, which is why I found a company I trust and I do business with, Xander. Please take the time to take care of your family.
KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. We are San Bernardino Strong.
As the owner of my business, I wear a lot of hats. I'm accounting, sales, and so much more. But I don't know marketing.
Let Dex Media be your marketing department. Our team can create a digital plan for you with everything from search to social. Contact Dex Media, that's DEX Media, to get found, get chosen, and get talked about.
Whoa, that's a job for cleanup, which would be me.
Call 844-230-3436 or visit dexmedia.com today.
And now it's time for another Support San Bernardino Spotlight.
Hi, my name is George Hahn. I am the Senior Minister at the Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. In the next few weeks, we would like to support San Bernardino by highlighting the outstanding things about our city. Today's program features
Dennis Baxter from Habitat for Humanity.
Thank you, George. I'm very proud that Habitat for Humanity San Bernardino area has been serving the residents of the area since 1992, so that's 24 years of building homes and building hope. Each partner family participates in our own curriculum in the greater San Bernardino area that provides guidance and resources to a successful long-term experience as being a homeowner. We have financial literacy classes that they go through so they understand the difference between being a homeowner and being a renter. Our Brush with Kindness program helps out low-income folks with, simple chores around the house. And, of course, our Restore, located in Redlands, is a real part of our fundraising effort. So it's building homes, it's building hope. Folks can give us a call at 909-478-1176 or habitatsb.org.
This program was underwritten by Center for Spiritual Living Inland Empire. If you would like information about today's program, please contact me, Reverend George, by calling 909-883-7171. That's 909-883-7171.
Open phones this hour as we talk about your life and your money. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, joins us this hour. Her specialty is working with women in business. She has a product line. We have a product line that we do together called Business Boutique, equipping women to make money doing what they love. If you're a lady and you've got a question about business in any stretch, holler in right now. You can get through. I've opened up some lines for you. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Christy, you ready to go to the phones?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's check out Phoenix, Arizona. Ruth Ann is with us. Hi, Ruth Ann. Your question for Christy.
Hello. What an honor to speak with the both of you. I wanted to say that my husband and I have been influenced so greatly by your ministry, Dave, and we can't say thank you enough.
Well, thank you.
I'm calling because it seems like it's time for me to actually begin doing a supplemental income and doing it by doing something I love to do, which is making hummus. And that means that it's a food item, and I'm feeling a little bit in the dark about what I need as far as licensing to be able to sell a food item. So what does that look like?
Okay, Christy?
Well, the starting point would just be a basic business license, which you could get for a few dollars down at your county clerk. But, Dave, can you speak to the specific food industry? I'm not aware of any specific licenses you need for that. I know we had a lot of women come to the Business Boutique that have different types of food and beverage items.
So a rule of thumb on a lot of things like this is when it stays pretty small, you don't have to worry about it much. It's when you get some scale to it that you can get into problems. I mean, if you're baking pies and selling pies out of your kitchen, nobody's going to bother you much. But you open a pie factory, all of a sudden you've got food liability issues from now on, and you've got to look into the insurance aspects, the manufacturing aspects, the FDA, and all those kinds of things. But the FDA doesn't care about a lady making some hummus in her kitchen. They're not going to bother you at that level. So as you get volume is where your risk comes in and your product liability issues can come in. The biggest reason is you just don't have much of a target on your back at this stage of the game. Nobody's going to bother you if you make one bad bowl of hummus. But again, if you have a whole batch of hummus and people get some kind of a disease out of it and you're running a big factory later, then obviously you got a whole different thing there, and you've got manufacturing guidelines that the state of Arizona and the U.S. I'm sure one of the many U.S. bureaucracies would want to overlook the FDA or something along those lines, Food and Drug folks, whoever does that. I don't know. But the general rule of thumb is you're going to be small enough at the start. I wouldn't sweat it. I certainly wouldn't go spend $10,000 getting a legal opinion on this to make $4 worth of hummus. That just it doesn't make sense. So let's just keep it kind of small, enjoy the ride, and as the thing starts getting a little bit bigger, if you start to get a commercial kitchen, then I'd get real serious about understanding food liability in the state of Arizona and also from a federal standpoint. And you just find other people in the food manufacturing world to give you some advice on that. And anytime I'm going into an area I don't know about, I just study best practices. I find somebody who's doing it in a big way. It doesn't have to be hummus. It could just be something else. It could be somebody making salsa, right, that you know. And okay, what did you run into there? Like, I ran into a guy in the barbecue sauce. He had a barbecue restaurant. He still does. And he got a local grocery chain to pick up his barbecue sauce. And we were advertising for him is why I knew the story. And the barbecue sauce did really well as long as he was making it in the kitchen at the restaurant. When he tried to batch it up and increase his do 1,000 gallons of it in one batch, the recipe didn't work. And it came out awful. It was horrible. And he had to throw it all out. So he had to learn a lot about batching as well as licensing and liabilities, as he went to a commercial factory-type application to get enough done to put it in a whole grocery chain and that kind of a thing. So you got other problems you have to do with volume as well. But here's the thing. Get started. Just get started. Go make some, put it on the market, get it selling. You can go find the answers. If you can get somebody to buy the stuff, you can go find the answers. But just don't get, find somebody else that's doing it, study best practices. But to answer the technicalities, I don't know the answer either, Christy.
Well, and a basic Google search will usually give you some guidelines like you're talking about through government websites, which is a painful search, and I know it's no fun. But a lot of the questions we get on some of these liabilities and licenses and that kind of stuff is state-specific in many cases, or taxes, for example. We get questions on that. So if you do a basic Google search as your starting point from some of these, the state government or some of those different things in your area, that can probably give you a good starting point. But like Dave said, once it starts to have scale, that's where you can get some outside counsel on any specific regulations that you might have at that level.
Joanne's up next. Hey, Joanne, your question for Christy Wright.
Hi. My question for you is I work in direct sales, in-home sales, and I sell a high-end product. And my question is, we offer, cash checking, credit card transactions, but one of the ways that we offer to get our products into the hands of our customers is through financing. And so I am doing the Ramsey program right now, but I'm trying to reconcile being able to get my sales out there, but a lot of people wanting to go into debt for my product. So I'm just trying to see how I can reconcile staying up with my sales and encouraging people to make purchases, but not necessarily going into debt for them.
What are you selling?
Cookware.
Okay. All right. And you're multi-level, so Pampered Chef?
No. Direct sales, Salad Master.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Christy?
So I think what you're asking, and this is a tough one, is you're talking about a value statement, right? Like this is you value being debt free. You're working on that yourself, and then you're offering something that you believe is not in line with your core values. And so that's something that I wouldn't say is something that I could tell you what you feel good about or don't feel good about. But if you feel checked in your core, then I would find a way around it in order to build your business and not do something that you feel goes against what you believe to be right, and that this is something specific to you.
So what's an average ticket if you came to someone's home and did a presentation? What would it sell for?
Average ticket for myself, smallest set is $2,500.
Okay.
And so, I mean, it's a really great product, and I believe in it, or else I wouldn't do it.
It's a whole set of cookware then.
A whole set of cookware? Yeah, it's like the smallest set. They range from $2,500 to $12,000. So sometimes I have the people that want to finance it, and I enjoy making money and getting that sale, but I'm just trying to see if there's a way that I can encourage people to still invest in my product, but
Well, I think there's three different things I would see if I were sitting in your shoes. And not being Dave Ramsey sitting in your shoes. I'm just replacing everything you told me about your situation. Number one, you've got a price point that is above, you're not going to sell that to a $35,000 a year single mom.
Right.
In good conscience. Doesn't matter how good the stuff is. She's not your market.
Right.
You know, she's making too many choices on $2,500. I couldn't do that if I were in your shoes in good conscience. So you're working a higher end client that's got more disposable income to start with.
Correct.
And then it comes down to, are they making a decision to finance something that maybe you wouldn't do, but you're not forcing them to do it. You're just saying, hey, look, I'm doing this because I'm getting out of debt. I understand a lot of people are getting out of debt. If you want to put this on your card, our company has the ability to do that, or our company has a finance plan. But you're not force-feeding them the finance plan. You're just saying, hey, this is what's available, and that way you don't feel like you're letting an adult make an adult decision then.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. A weird example of that is a lady, one time, this happened more than once, but I remember this one in specific, got very, very angry with me and got all up in my face at a book event one time, one of our events, because we would not let her use her credit card because we don't accept credit cards. How dare you make that decision for me, was her point. And in your case, you could say, okay, I'm going to let them make their own decision. In my case, I don't have that choice. If I offer financing after I tell people need to get out of debt, I'm like the world's biggest hypocrite, you know. So right. Dave Ramsey can't do that under any circumstances, and shouldn't, you know, wouldn't want to. But you're like saying I own a Pizza Hut. If we take credit cards, or we own a pizza joint, if we take credit cards, are we bad people? No, you're not bad people. But you don't force it up in their face because you don't believe in it. Christy Wright, good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Christy B. Wright follow her at Twitter, at Instagram, and on Facebook at Official Christy Wright. Thanks for being here. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
This is KCAA Loma Linda. CNBC News is next. Brought to you by BuySellMakeOffer.com. Go there now and join the thousands who have already signed up for a new and exciting way to buy and sell online. Launching January 15th.
I'm Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio. Stocks are lower. The Dow's down 37 points. The Nasdaq lower by 17. It was a holly jolly Christmas for retailers. MasterCard's Spending Pulse says retail sales grew by nearly 8% this holiday season. That was largely due to strong online sales as well as strong demand for furniture and women's apparel. Amazon putting lots of green in its pocket. The online retailing giant says more than 3 million customers joined its Prime service during Christmas week, and the company says it shipped to 185 countries during the holiday. If you went to grandmother's house for Christmas, it isn't easy getting home. Severe storms are causing flight delays and cancellations. More than 1,100 flights have been canceled nationwide. The hardest hit airports are the busy hubs in Chicago and Dallas. Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio.
It's Macy's After Christmas Sale. Save 25% on dazzling social dresses at our biggest social event of the season. Designer underwear for him. Buy one, get one 50% off at our biggest underwear sale of the season. Plus, buy 2 bras, get 2 free from Bally, Maidenform, and more. Save 30 to 50% on bed and bath at our biggest white sale. And get designer coats for her 50% off. Macy's After Christmas Sale. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.